Now, what is Cognito? Have you heard the word Cognito, AWS Cognito? Okay. So, what is Cognito? Where we can use Cognito and how it will help you to create your web application. So, Cognito is a next version of your IAM. Okay. It's the next version of IAM where you can allow different user to access either your cloud service or your application. So basically, if you want to create a user management service, like if you have a website where you want to user to log into your server to your website, that's it. If you have a mobile application for your bank system, or you have your hotel booking website where you want user to log in before they can create book a ticket. Okay, so you have to write an application for user management, right? Which type of application I'm talking about? User need to sign up to your application. User needs to reset the password. They have to register themselves. They need to authenticate themselves, and then only they will able to book a ticket, right? So this is the user management. Then you have to understand that they have to reset the password in the future. They have to recover their account. All this user management system, it is called user management system. Why? Because it all only deals with the user data. You're not providing any other service, right? The user registration, user sign up, user authentication, user identification, all these things are called user management service. So in industry, if you are creating any application, the first thing will be always the user management, how you can manage the user. Okay, so for that you have to write your code. It takes time to write a user management service. So Amazon has give you out of the box service where you can just create this Cognito, and all the user management application will be generated and will be given to you out of the box, and you just has to attach to your application. That's it. That is Cognito. Now let's understand what is Web Identity Federation and User Pool and Identity Pool. So you might have seen in some website that you don't have to log in or create your account, and you can log into third party application like Facebook, Google, Amazon. You might have seen, if you are going to book a ticket, they are asking you to log in with or create the account or log in with third party application like Google, right? This is called Web Identity Federation. This concept is called Web Identity Federation, where you don't have to create the user or you don't have to sign up the user to your account. You can use third party application just like Facebook, Google, Microsoft, or any other service where user has account already. So this services, this third party application validates that user is genuine and use this information. So what you are doing, you're fetching the information from this third party vendor. They authenticate the login and you are allowing the user to access your application. So Web Identity Federation let you give your user access to AWS resources after they are successfully authenticate with web-based identity provider like Facebook, Google, or Amazon. So basically, what they are doing, the authentication is done by the third-party application. In in your company, in many company, if your Microsoft authentication is used as a verification, you have to log into the company server, right? You have to log into your company server, and that authentication is done by Microsoft account. In industry, Outlook is one of the service which is used to manage the mail, sir, right? Microsoft authentication is the top popular authentication service which is used to authenticate throughout your company's domain. So you will have one user ID, and that user ID will be used across all your company application. How it is managed? It is managed through Web Identity Federation. This is the concept where you have to log in once and you can access all the company application. Following the successful authentication, the user receives an authentication code from the web identity provider, which can be traded from for temporary secure AWS security credentials. So this is your AWS account. Okay, this is your company account. Your company doesn't want to create the user management service right now. You have a company and you don't want. So what you can do? You have purchased the Amazon Outlook service. Okay, sorry, Microsoft Outlook service, and along with that, you have asked for a web identity federation. So if any user is trying wants the access to the account, so they have to log into Microsoft account first, authenticate that, and then they will give granted access for AWS accounts. So this is what happened with even for me. I will show you one demo. So this is my company portal. So I have to log into Microsoft first. So it will ask me the authentic Microsoft authentication. So if you can see, I have to log into the Microsoft, and after I can log into Microsoft, it will allow to navigate to my AWS accounts. So here you can see AWS accounts are there. So after authentication, I will allow. It is called Web Identity Federation. So in my company, they are not managing the user. The users are managed by Microsoft. So this is what Web Identity Federation helps you to do. So how Cognito comes in the picture? So to enable this feature, to enable this uh, application, you can, or if you want to integrate this feature to your website in your company or in your web server, you can use Cognito. So Cognito provide authentication, authorization, and user management for your web and mobile app. Okay, what it provide? Authentication, authorization, and user management. So you don't have to write anything. It is out of the box for you. Your user can sign in directly with username and password, just like any other website, or through third parties such as Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft, or Apple. So Cognito provide web identity federation with the following feature. You can sign up and sign into your application, create a guest user, act as a broker between your application and web identity provider so that you don't have to write any additional code. So this is important thing. So here, sign up and signing is generally what we do to any website. Create a temporary user. Right now, you have seen on Netflix and Hotstar, you are granted some temporary user, guest user with a limited access. You have to sign up or sign up to their application. Even you can log in from your Google account to these websites. That is called web identity brokers. Synchronize your data to multiple devices. You have seen Netflix or Amazon uh, or your Hotstar, all the whatever you are watching, the current it is synced to your different devices, right? Whatever you are watching, immediately if you open, if you are watching through browser, and if you check in your mobile, the whatever the episode you have seen, it will be synced to that particular point. The syncage of the user into the multiple devices. Recommended for mobile application in AWS. So how Cognito works? So the recommendation approach for web identity federation using social media account like Facebook. So how it works? So in Cognito you have two features. Either you can create a login page. It's easy. You can ask user to sign up and sign into your application, or you can use a web identity federation where third party login is required. So how it works? So user will log into the Facebook, and the Facebook will generate a token. Facebook will generate a token. That token will be passed to Cognito. That token will be passed to Cognito, and Cognito will will verify, and it will create a key. That key can be used for to access your AWS account or other websites. So this is the endpoint which you want to access. So Cognito brokers between the app and Facebook to provide temporary credential when mapped to IAM role, allowing access to the required resources. No need for application to embed or store credential locally on the device, and it gives user a seamless experience across multiple mobile devices. So it act as a broker. So you don't have to write a single piece of code. You don't have to write a single piece of code. Just couple of clicks and your Cognito application is up and running. Now let's understand a detail about Cognito. So I will show you how Cognito looks like. So here we have to create user pool and identity pool. So user pool basically it handles on how many users you want to authenticate. Okay, and identity pool gives the if the user is allowed what type of permission it required. So that is called identity pool. Okay, they have changed the GUI, I think. So this is Cognito. So what is user pool? User pool are user directories used to manage sign up and sign in functionality for mobile and web applications. So this is the sign up and sign up you can create very easily. User can sign in directly to user pool or using third party application like Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft, or Google. Okay, you can create Google here. So there are two types: grant entry to your application website or to AWS resources as well. So create a user pool. You have to give a name. Now this is the identity pool. I don't want to create identity pool. So okay, identity. Oh, they have changed the GUI again. Okay, here you can see this is a user pool. So email ID is username, email ID, phone number is required when sign up. So this is a password. If you want to create custom password, default password, do you require MFA? No. How the account should be recovered? User account recovery system. Okay, self sign up, verification and confirmation over the mail. Okay, require attributes. Any other thing do you want to require for creating the sign up page? Okay, you can add custom attributes. In which region do you want to configure? Do you want to give some IAM role to it? Mm, okay. So you have to create a user pool and the front page will be created for you. Okay, so you can try it out. I'm not creating it end to end. So few more settings needs to be done. So it will create a user pool for you like this. The Cognito act as an identity broker between the identity provider and AWS. After successfully login, the token will be generated. Now, after the user has logged in, what is the next step? To provide the access, right? Identity pool, that's called identity pool. First is user pool. So user authentication, and it is authorization, where you give the access to either AWS service or your website. So identity pool are unable to provide temporary AWS credential to AWS access like S3 or DynamoDB. Okay, so you can see here, same diagram. First, you will log into the user pool, get authentication. If the user are authorized, the a key will be generated, which will use for to get the credential, like from the identity pool. That what type of access do I have? I have the full access of AWS resources, or I have some temporary access? So in my case, as I've shown you, after login, it will navigate me to my AWS company's account, and according to my permission, the identity pool give me the permission, what type of permission I have, I will able to access the AWS resources. It's just like I am user, but there we have to create a user differently. You can directly create a user through Cognito now. How it works, same. Get token, extend the token, and grant the permission. Now, Cognito also help you to synchronize your device to synchronize all your devices at once. So Cognito synchronize the association between your identity and in various devices that you are signing from. In order to provide a seamless user experience for your application, Cognito use push synchronization to push and synchronize the user data across multiple devices. So if you have logged in your account from multiple devices, every device will be synced. So as soon as you open your application, it will sync your information on your devices. So you might have seen while ordering something, when you order or when you order a purchase from website, immediately you get a notification on your mobile. That is a syncage. So Cognito uses SNS to send notification to all your devices which with a given user identity whenever the device store connects to the cloud. Synchronization. So this is your web synchronization, and this is all the services. So all your device will be in sync always. So in nutshell, Cognito is used for user management service, which can be used for granting authentication and authorization to your different application in the web. It can be used to create sign up and sign in page or web identity federation. Federation allows user to authenticate with web identity provider. User authenticate first with web ID provider and receive an authentication token, which can be exchanged for temporary AWS credential, allowing to assume the IAM role. Cognito is the identity broker which handle the interaction between the application and web ID provider. You don't have to write any code. User pool is a user base. It handles things like user registration, authentication, and account recovery. Identity pool authorize access to the AWS resource. It authorize. So that is all about Cognito. For exam, for interview, you just have to remember the theory. You don't have to go and create the user pool and identity pool. Just understand. You can allow access to your AWS account as well as your website using Cognito. It is a user management service. With a single click, with a few clicks, you can create the user pool and give them access. Okay, previously you have to create a database where you have to provide the user login, user authentication, you have to save the password, you have to give the password recycle policy, you have to encrypt the password, encrypt the username, you have to store the user information. Everything is done by Cognito. You don't have to do anything right now. Okay, that's it all about Cognito.